People always tell me that if I like Macross that much, or even if I like any of Robotech, I should go and watch the Macross sequels exclusive to Japan. But whenever I try to get into these shows, I just have a hard time. I guess I wanted to talk about why today. My immediate impression of the problem is that there's the slightest chance that some Macross fans and a few Robotech fans might get different things out of the original run of Macross. They might see different things as to what they look forward to, and just little variant interpretations of what we all see in the show means the world in terms of what we expect in sequels. Here's a brief example where I don't have to worry about choosing between names. Lin Min-mei, the main pop starlet of the original Macross storyline. When I talk to some people, mainly Macross fans, about how the character of Min-mei plays out throughout the original show, I often find that we have a slight but important difference in how we interpret what she means. To many Macross fans, Lin Min-mei is one of the first examples of an idol girl rising in popularity and then saving the day in the end when no one sees it coming. But I take the Lin Min-mei storyline to be about culture, and how culture affects societies without it, such as the Zentradi. I don't see Lin Min-mei as an anime idol girl per se. I see her more as a celebrity or just a personification of our everyday surroundings. Now, some people would argue that what I'm describing isn't really a divergence of interpretation, that the two blend into each other fine, and that there's no real reason to act like there's an argument to be had at all. But just these slightest differences on what we see and enjoy in the show personify a great divide between what the provisional Macross fan and the average Robotech fan expects to find in our sequel media. Instead of jumping into a random Macross sequel, I want instead to talk about something a little more close to my element. For the past couple years, really nice, modern-looking reanimations of key scenes from the original Macross have been floating around the web, often without due credit. Despite people often labeling these clips as Robotech, this is a Japan-only piece of media, specifically from a pachinko arcade game based around Macross, which is pretty crazy. There aren't a lot of pinball machines in America that have cutscenes. Now, I have heard a couple fans describe this as the pinnacle and high standard of Macross animation, and I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty awesome. It's cool to see the designs and scenes that I love reconstructed with modern animation quality. From a conceptual point of view, I cannot knock this. This is awesome. But I also sort of have to realize that if the show was actually fully remade to be exactly as it is in this game's cutscenes, I would hate it. Because for every shot that's a pretty close approximation of something from the original that I liked, there's a shot like this, or a shot like this, or a shot like this. I would love to see the original Macross remastered and reanimated scene by scene, episode by episode, but I am also fully aware that doing this would ironically make the show more niche and dated, because they would add in a bunch of average, cliched anime material just to make the entire frame more standard with what we're used to. They'd have a scene where Miria walks around in the nude and doesn't understand why Max or Hikaru feels awkward. They'd shove in a bunch of scenes of a big-tittied Min-mei pushing her skimpy costume as far down as it can possibly go, or if the Bridge Bunny's dressed up in maid costumes, or the Captain's clothing, or whatever they feel like is the cutest thing they could possibly do. And worst of all, they'd give the aliens elf ears, which is my least favorite thing ever. In short, they would turn Macross into an anime. But Quentin, Macross already is an anime. Yes, well, obviously. But what I like about the original Macross is that it doesn't stick to trends or the basic guidelines of what it's supposed to be. I mean, I'm doing a series right now where I study Voltron episode by episode, and I found that the series is really bad at dealing with its leading ladies and women. There are 500 million episodes where Elora messes something up and then has to prove that she still deserves to be a part of the team, despite the fact that she's a klutzy woman. Macross and Go Lion came out the same year. And while Macross still has some mild sexist undertones, it steers far away from stupid storylines like this because it knows better. I guess what I'm getting at is that I see a schism between the average stock anime you'd see on a shelf at Best Buy and how I view the original Macross. In most anime, there is going to be several things in every show and every episode that I am going to personally find jarring. To enjoy these things, I often have to be in the right mood or mindset. It's about detaching myself from reality just a teensy bit. Not about shutting my brain off or not thinking critically, but about immersing myself in this world. Characters not acting like humans, things happening that I'm not used to seeing in a non-anime world, just everything being kind of really weird. It's not that these things are bad, but rather that there's something that I recognize as proponents to the manga that I have to maneuver around. But I never get the same feeling with Macross, or yes, Robotech, despite how I've been avoiding saying that name the last few minutes. I feel like Macross and Robotech are both shows that I could unironically sit down and watch with my friends. I could just plop it in, no context, no preparations, no warnings. And even if there are a few moments in episode that have become a little silly in the past 30 years, we can just honestly sit back and enjoy the show for what it is. But I don't think I could do that with any of the Macross sequels, because the Macross sequels are unapologetically anime programs. Macross changed the industry. Macross sequels are shaped by the industry. When I see the clips, watch the OPs, see the trailers, it all looks like any anime that you would pull off the rack. When I saw the Macross Triangle trailer, and I was excited for Macross Triangle before I saw this trailer, I couldn't help but see so many shots that looked like they were from any other show. Oh look, Code Geass. Oh look, Sword Art Online. Oh look, Okami-san. Oh look, every anime but the one that it's supposed to be. Man, this fan trailer is really impressive. I can't wait to see the real one. Does that mean that these shows literally are as generic as they look from the get-go? No, of course not. The simple fact of the matter is that I haven't watched much of these shows, and I'm never going to be able to critically give a final decision on them until I do. The thesis of this video isn't that these sequels are bad or unwatchable, but rather that they don't interest me. Whenever I watch Robotech, I get something out of it. I don't know if I can explain it briefly, but it's something that I get out of all three sagas in their own way. But it's also something that I don't get out of many of the Macross sequels. And again, it's not that that makes them bad, and if you like them, good for you! I'm happy that you found something in them that I clearly haven't discovered yet. I can't take away your shows from you just because they aren't to my tastes, and in turn, I guess you can't take away mine. Maybe one day I'll sit down and really get these shows. But as long as people keep telling me that I should look at them as a comparison to Macross, and that I'm supposed to look for the same things in them that I find in the original, then I'm just gonna go ahead and say that for now, I'm not interested. And that's all you need.